Hi everybody, it's Terry Ryder from hotspotting.com.au. Tonight I want to pose the question, why is it that Sydney and Melbourne have had such strong property markets, such strong growth in their prices over the last 3 to 4 years, but nowhere else in Australia has replicated that growth? Because if you ask the average economist in Australia their reasons for Sydney's boom, for example, their answer will be record low interest rates. And of course this begs the question, if it's record low interest rates, why has not all of Australia had a property boom with price growth similar to Sydney's? And the answer is, of course, that it's got very little to do with the level of interest rates, nor does it have much to do with the level of foreign investment, nor has it got a lot to do with negative gearing tax benefits. What it does have a lot to do with it, and this explains the differences between what's happened in Sydney and Melbourne and other parts of Australia, is that it's all about the strength of the local economy, not the national economy, not national factors such as the level of interest rates, but the strength or otherwise of your state and territory economy. The strongest economies in Australia for the last 3 to 4 years consistently have been number 1, New South Wales, number 2, Victoria. That's been the standard in the quarterly reports published by ComSec, the State of the States reports every quarter for the last 4 years. Often influenced by a very high level of spending on infrastructure. Sydney has been the strongest economy and the strongest property market. Melbourne has been the second strongest economy and the second strongest property market. And those two things lining up together are no coincidence. And this week we saw some figures published by SGS, Economics and Planning, which tended to confirm my view on this. SGS found that 2/3 of Australia's economic growth in the last financial year have occurred in Sydney and Melbourne. It claims that 41% of Australia's economic growth has actually happened in Sydney. It's the economic powerhouse of the country right now, and this has been the major reason why Sydney has had such strong property price growth. And Melbourne, as the second strongest economy, the two cities together, according to this report, 2/3 of the economic growth achieved in the 2017 financial year, is the principal reason why these two cities have had such strong price growth, whereas our cities located within weak local economies such as Perth and Darwin have had prices going backwards. It's as simple as that. So where now from here, where next perhaps? Well, the Western Australian economy is improving and we're starting to see improvements in the Perth property market. And in a recent post, I talked about my belief that next year the smart money would be buying in Perth. South Australia is also rising. The South Australian economy has been elevated in the most recent ComSec State of the States reports from 6th place to 4th place, and there's all sorts of other things happening there that lead me to believe that we're going to see better things in the Adelaide property market next year. I'm going to actually speak a lot more about Adelaide and its property market and its underlying economy in a video post tomorrow night. But that's it for now. Terry Ryder from Hotspotting. I'll talk to you again tomorrow night and again later in the week.